We frequently show you the effects of climate change. This past week, we've seen its impacts, as we talked about in California, where that atmospheric river storm is causing some devastating flooding.
And that is why we're committing more time to understanding climate change, why it's happening, and how it's affecting our communities.
So to do that, we are going to bring you some unique stories taking you on a journey of discovery. It's called On the Dot. And joining us now is our guide for these adventures, David Schechter. David, great to see you. Where are you joining us from?
Jim and Marie, I am in the Bay Area here, San Francisco, and we're here because of those atmospheric rivers that you just talked about, which is sort of a new term that we've been hearing about. But these storms have been coming and coming and coming. We have a little reprieve here, obviously some sun, but the damage has been significant. There has been flooding here. You see a lot of downed trees. There's been some storm surge. There have been people have died in this storm. And one of the reasons that we are here with this mission for On the Dot is to connect the dots, that climate change is making an impact on our climate, in our communities, like you said, and these atmospheric rivers are a part of it. It's not causing these storms, but it's making them worse.
David, it's interesting that we're talking about flooding in an area where, more often than not, we're talking about them dealing with drought.
I know. It actually is pretty wild because, well, actually, scientists call that, Marie, they call it the kind of whiplash effect, because climate change makes the earth warmer. It does lead to warmer conditions and leads to fires and droughts on the one hand, but also the warming planet also retains more moisture in the atmosphere, and so you can get then more intense rainfall and intense storms. So when you look at it that way, it does make sense to have this whiplash effect where you can go from one extreme to the other, and California right now is a great example of that.
David, you've joined our team to help us see the effects and causes of climate change and to show us the science. Why do you think everyone needs a deeper understanding of all of this?
I think people, first of all, care about this subject, and some information indicates, that the public does care about this. But the problem is that we're busy. We got to pick up our kids from school. We got to make dinner. We got jobs, and so it's a little daunting to dig in on this and make yourself better educated. That's what we hope to do. We want to take you on a journey, have a discovery, have fun. This is serious stuff, but we're going to have a good time. And we want to meet cool people and go to cool places that you might not normally go to, because you should be learning along the way. But it shouldn't be like taking your medicine. This is an important topic. We all need to know more about it, I think.
Yes.
So that first journey you are taking us on is tomorrow night. Tell us about what we can expect.
Maria, I'm very excited about this story. We call it the invisible problem. And the invisible problem is carbon dioxide, which comes from our cars, comes from our factories, and it gets into the atmosphere and it basically stays there for hundreds or thousands of years. And it's just been building up over time. And we wanted you to see this and understand it. So unfortunately, our first assignment took us to Hawaii. We're going to the Mauna Loa Observatory, and this is where the carbon dioxide readings come from. And I'm like, I gotta go see that place.
This is the carbon cycle NOAA portable sampling unit. And what we're doing here...
Kind of looks like the nuclear launch codes might also be in there.
Yeah. Luckily they're not.
Aiden's telling me the air up here is what makes this remote location so important. We're more than 11,000 feet up, far above any ground level pollution from communities below, and we're surrounded by 2,000 miles of ocean. So by the time air makes its way here, it's been blended with air from across the globe.
All right, so we'll just hold our breath, just because that's what I usually do when we get like 10 seconds, but once I close it off,
we have to hold our breath?
It's very hard to affect it, but we don't want to contaminate.
Tell me when I have to hold my
right,
breath. And so here's actually who's holding their breath the most. It's kids, it's youth. I want to give you a quick statistic here. This is a CBS News poll that just came out in November. 65% of voters between the ages of 18 and 29, so pretty young people, say climate change is very serious, and about 43 to 44% of every other age group also thinks it's very serious. This is another reason we're committing ourselves to this, because we understand that everybody out there wants to know, like, what's going on. This is an important subject. We need to understand it better.
And we will see more tomorrow. David Schechter, thanks so much.